guys, welcome to my 14-week pregnancy and running video update. For those of you that are just tuning in, this is our fifth pregnancy. We have 2 children in heaven. We have 2 children here on earth and 1 in my womb. So this is our 5th pregnancy and our 3rd viable pregnancy, I guess you would say. And I have been a long distance runner for 2/3 of my life. I think most of you probably know that, but if you don't, that's kind of my story. I ran with both of my other children, and I decided this time around it might be kind of fun for me to go back and just watch videos on running, mileage, nutrition, pregnancy, all wrapped into one, because we'd like to have more children. I want to know if you think some of the criteria that I'm talking about is decent, or if you wanted to know more things about the stuff that I'm sharing. I'm probably forgetting a lot of stuff, and I'm just going on like what I see other people talking about, and I figured if they're talking about that, I can mention that. Some of the things that people mention in pregnancy updates aren't really relevant to what I'm mentioning, because this is also about running. So I'm trying to balance both of those, and I just want to make sure that if you guys have questions, just go ahead and ask them, and I'll try to answer them for you. And they can be just totally running related questions. They don't have to be related to pregnancy or anything like that, but feel free to just ask, and I will try to answer at least the next time I make a video. I figured I would talk about weight, because I've noticed that I didn't mention that the last time, and it is something that people do like to hear about. Weight for me isn't extremely important. I definitely, though, try to get back to my pre-pregnancy weight every time after I have a baby. And my mentality with that is it took me 9 months or 10 months to grow the baby, so it should take me, I usually say, a year to get back to my pre-pregnancy weight. And my pre-pregnancy weight, I have a very random number, but it's 109. And that seems to be the weight that really makes me feel like I still look decent. And I feel great. And we do natural family planning, so we chart my cycles, and 109 seems to be my healthiest in that respect. So I'm still having my normal menstruation cycles, and things aren't too far off the beaten path. When I got married, I was 104, or like maybe 103 or something like that, and I was running such huge mileage and distances that my periods would come every like 6 to 8 weeks, which I was still ovulating and things like that, but it just didn't feel right to me. I just didn't feel my best. So my best is right around 109. And I got back to 109 with Greg, I got back to 109 with Chet, and I find that because I nurse and I'm running simultaneously and I somewhat watch what I eat, it's manageable for me. I can do that within a year. And it always feels great to like see yourself go back down to 109. Now, for my entire life, I've never owned a scale until probably 4 months ago, when my husband decided he wanted one, and I still don't use it. So I tend to go by how my clothes fit and how I feel. And then my mom owns a scale, and so I would go and weigh myself over there maybe like once a month or something. And when I would hit 109, it was just like, this is amazing, I did it, yay, you know. And I realize that it's not the same for everybody. People have hard times losing weight, but I cannot encourage you enough to really make it your goal to get back to your pre-pregnancy weight before a year is up. Like, just to really try that, because honestly, if you hang on to that weight and then you end up getting pregnant again, it's just gonna be really hard to lose the first pregnancy's weight on top of the second pregnancy's weight, right? Makes it way more difficult. So you just have to put the effort in. That's what I'm trying to say. And it comes fairly easy for me, because I do like to run. So right now I'm not concerned at all about weight gain or anything like that. It's all very normal. So I started out as 109, and I think right now I'm about like 117 maybe. So I've gained, roughly like 8 to 10 pounds, let's say, since I found out that we were pregnant, and that's normal. As far as cravings go this week, so I made another plate of deviled eggs just the other day, and I ate like 2 or 3 halves of them, and then I was just totally over it. I was like, this is gross, I can't do it anymore, and I threw them all out. What a waste, right? Recently though, I mean, the whole time I've been pregnant, I've been craving cheese, but yesterday we went to this grocery store in our town, and it's the same one I shop at all the time. And the guy who runs the deli knows me sort of, just because like he helps me find stuff when I need it, right? So he came up to me yesterday when he saw me, and he's like, you have to try this cheese. It's so amazing. It comes from Ireland, and it's just so delicious, blah, blah, blah. And so he let me try it, and I was sold. I had to buy it. So I've been eating that. And then yesterday I came home and I made a Waldorf salad, which is apples, raisins. I added this cheese, some walnuts. It has like a ton of mayo in it, but I ate it and it was so good, and now I want more. So I'm kind of like, that's one thing I'm holding out on, because this salad has mayo. So he told me, and not that I'm like against eating mayo, but I just want to eat like half a container of it. And I felt like yesterday that's like how it was. It was like a huge amount. And he told me that if it has too much mayo in the recipe that he gave me, to like substitute it with some Greek yogurt. So I think I'm gonna try that, just so that way I don't feel so bad about eating that. I'm eating green smoothie every day for breakfast or with lunch, one or the other. And it's nice because I make those for my kids just as much as I make them for myself, because they love them. And I think having one every day really gives me some outstanding energy, because it's spinach and there's kefir and there's you can throw anything in there. There's no like set recipe. I just like to know I'm getting a good amount of veggies and fruit, and I'm drinking it, and it tastes so good, and you don't even realize it. It's just amazing. And the kids will just suck it down, and I'm like, ha ha ha. I got spinach and you didn't even know it. The other thing I've been kind of craving and / nutrition wise is making salads, just like big leafy green salads with homemade dressing. And my husband and I are really big on America's Test Kitchen. We love the show and we love all of their recipes, and they have some really outstanding just homemade basic vinaigrette salad dressings. And I think I crave the vinegar part of it, and I like the iron that comes with the salad. So, and I don't put anything in the salad. It's literally dark leafy greens and homemade salad dressing. I don't really like to add anything else to it unless someone else makes the salad for me. Then it's amazing. But if I start adding things, I'm like, oh, this is not good, I don't like it. Ugh, I'm weird like that. So if I make like homemade, they have a foolproof vinaigrette that's really basic with like wine vinegar and shallots and Dijon mustard, and you just, the techniques and everything to make it, it's so easy and it's so basic, but yet it just makes sense and it tastes so amazing. So I love to have that on leafy greens. And then they also have a lemon vinaigrette dressing that I really, really like too. So I've been eating a lot of that. And then last night for dinner we had, if you've ever been to Panera Bread, they have this Asian chicken salad, which is okay, but then when you make your own, it's like mind-blowing. And we've been making our own for years. And if you guys want the recipe, I can post it below. It is just the dressing itself. Everyone that eats it says, oh my gosh, the dressing is what makes the salad so delicious. So you just marinate some chicken breasts, and then you like put it on the stove or on the grill, depending, and cut it up, add it to the leafy greens, make your homemade salad dressing, add some wontons, and that's what we had for dinner last night, like a huge plate of Asian chicken salad, and it was just so good. And I think I just crave the greens with that vinegary taste. And I've been craving that since the very beginning of pregnancy. I'm not very nauseous anymore, which is great. I think I've kind of turned a corner on that. And I actually have started to feel movement, especially like when I'm getting quiet and I'm lying down in bed. either lying on my side or my back. I can feel them moving around. It's interesting though, because I think when I had Greg and I was pregnant with him for the first time, I would feel these things, but I wouldn't even relate it to Greg moving around. But now I know, because it's the third time, so you just kind of get the gist of it. So running related, so I've been doing the same thing. I've been running 3 miles, a couple days on, and then I'll take a day off. I took yesterday off because it was grocery day, and I'm very finicky about my schedule, so I don't run on grocery day for my own reasons. Because I like to be able to have myself dressed and ready to go before the kids get up, and then get them fed, and then we go out for groceries, and we get there before anyone else, and we can get our groceries done, and we're in and out. And I like to get groceries on a certain, like Thursdays are usually my grocery day, so I won't run on that day, even if it's like a really nice day out. I think I can probably start going when the daylight becomes really, really long in the morning, but for right now, I just can't make it both work. So I know Thursdays I don't go, but I've been running 3 miles, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I take Thursday off. Today's Friday. I have to go out today, and I didn't go this morning because my husband had to be at work super early. So he said to me, you can just go this afternoon when I get home. And I'm going to have to, I don't have a choice because I have other things going on, and I took yesterday off. So it just really stinks, because like if he gets home around like 4 o'clock, I'll have dinner pretty much ready to go, and then I'll head out the door. And it's hard because like at that time of day, I'm just so tired. I've been chasing the kids around all day, and maybe I got a nap in during nap time, maybe I didn't. And at that point of the day, I just want to go to bed. So it's going to be a challenge today to get out. And plus I've really gotten into running in the morning. I really, really like it. And it's a disappointment when I can't go in the morning now. I have decided that I'm going to start increasing my mileage very slowly. Probably maybe like I think I have to look at the sunrise schedule. But once I have enough time to go out and do like, because right now I'm doing 3, the next would be 5. Forget about 4 miles, blah. I don't really have a loop that's a 4-mile loop. So I have a 5-mile loop, so I'm just gonna do that one next. And I mean, I know that it's not an issue. I know that I can do it, but I'm just taking things slow because I had taken those weeks off, and I really want my body to be able to quit and rest while it's ahead, and I don't wanna be overtired. And it's crazy to me to say I'm doing 3 miles today. That's just crazy, because in my mind, that's absolutely nothing. That means nothing to me. It feels like a drop in the bucket. But I know for other people who are just starting out, 3 miles is such a big deal to them. So I'm not saying that 3 miles isn't a big deal and that people shouldn't be proud of themselves for that. But for me, it just is like, it's kind of a letdown, and I am struggling with that because I am such a high mileage person, but I know that I'm pregnant, and my goal is to be able to run this entire time. So I've decided that as the sunlight increases, I'll be able to increase my mileage little by little. So I have a 5-mile loop. I might try that next week, because I think the way that the sunrise is and when I leave, I've been leaving around pre-dawn. So right now pre-dawn is 6:30, and it's still kind of dark out, but you know, you suffer through that for a little bit, and then it's sunrise. And so I think next week I might try that. I might do like 1 5-mile loop and just see how that goes. See how I feel after that. And I'm sure I'll feel fine. It's just like building on it and making sure that, you know, if you're doing 5 miles 3 days in a row, being pregnant, I don't want to overexhaust myself. So I'm just being cautious. I've noticed that these past few days going out, I do have to stop and pee. And that might be TMI, but it is part of being pregnant and running at the same time. I'm still wearing regular running clothes made for people who aren't pregnant. And I think that does kind of constrict on my waist, and it puts pressure on my bladder. And then if I'm drinking a lot of water and coffee before I head out, and I go to the bathroom before I run, and I'm only doing 3 miles, but it's like halfway through, I have to stop. And thankfully I live in an area where it's very remote, and there's a lot of trees and woods and things like that. So like nobody knows that you're being in the woods. but it is an inconvenience. And I remember going through it with Greg and with Chet, and it just gets to be so annoying because, as you know, if you've been pregnant before, when your bladder tells you you need to go, you need to go. It gets worse as the baby gets bigger because they start doing things and moving around and putting pressure on your bladder, and then that can be really uncomfortable, and then you have to pee, and it's like you pee and it's a quarter size amount, and you're like, what the heck? I thought I had to go for like a minute and I don't, and what is this? It's crazy. So that has started stopping and peeing, which is so annoying, and it's just so part of how it goes. And my last update is that I spent some time talking to my husband about how I can't give up the goal of running up Hosack Mountain. I know that people might think that that's crazy because it is such a huge increase from the base to the summit. You know, you're increasing a huge elevation in about 1 mile. But I think what I'm going to do is compromise. So I'll run to the base, and then when I get there and I get to the really steep inclines, I'll just walk. And then I'll get up to the summit and I'll feel so accomplished and I can really enjoy it. And then I can run down because that's not a big deal at all. But it's the running up and maintaining a healthy heart rate, and just making sure that I'm not overtaxing myself and I'm not overdoing it. But I really cannot give up going to Hosack as many times as I want, because that mountain or peak is just one of my most favorite places to go. And I think that I shouldn't have to give that up because I'm pregnant. I should just be smart with it. And I think that this is a very smart goal. And keep in mind, you know, my body, I've been running since I was 9, right? So my body knows more on how to adapt and adjust and grow and change when I'm running than it does when I'm without it, right? It's just a natural progression for me to be pregnant and running at the same time. And it's a natural progression for me to be, you know, growing and getting older and running at the same time. And I think doing Hosack within my own comfort zone isn't a bad idea. I think I just need to be willing to say, it's okay to stop and walk up the really steep parts. That's okay. And kind of like give myself permission to say that it is okay to stop and walk. And yes, it's going to take me a lot longer, but I don't even run with a watch anyways, and I don't time anything, and I'm not out there to beat any personal records or anything like that. Like, I don't do any of that. So I think the part that I do is just running nonstop and running adventures that are big and challenging and fun. And that's what Hosack is to me. It's just part of my neighborhood that's beautiful. And when you get to the summit, you know, the views are gorgeous and you feel accomplished for the day. And I can go exploring up there. There's a lot of hidden things to do up there. And I don't want to miss out on that. This is one of the best times to be going up there because it's spring and it's beautiful and things are going to be blossoming and there's no snow or ice on the road going up. And I don't want to miss that. So I do think that telling myself that this is a compromise. You want to go up there, that's great, but you need to be able to say, I'm going to walk. I'm going to walk the 1 point, I think it's like 1.3 from the base to the summit. And it's not all super elevated. It is about probably like, I think it would be mostly very, very, very elevated, like 3/4 of a mile. And so if I'm walking that, I think that that's totally doable and fine. So I will let you guys know when I decide to do that. I know that, I think from where I am to the top and back, it's probably like 6 or 7 miles. So it's very easy. It's very laid back. It's very totally doable, totally within like a low mileage range, but it's still so much fun. And I think that like I said, I don't want to overdo things, but I'm not willing to like give that up. So I probably will go out and do that when I feel like I've increased to the 5 or 6 mile loops that I have in the morning. And I do it based on how I feel. I'm gonna gauge how my body feels and how mentally I feel, you know, like I can handle this, it'll be fine. And I'm not there yet, but I definitely have the goal of being there within like, you know, maybe like 2 months from now. So it's March, I would say by May I'd like to be back at the top of HOSAC. We'll see, no pressure, you know. That's why I don't run races. I don't like the pressure of doing any of that stuff, and I don't like being around other people. So I like doing HOSAC completely alone, having nobody out there. There might be a few people walking up, but they don't, you know, they don't bother me. But it's like, I don't want to run that with a bunch of other people. If my husband said, oh, I want to run it with you, that would be awesome. But I don't think that he would, because then we wouldn't have anyone to watch the kids. Let me know if there's anything I didn't share with you that you want to know. Tell me if you liked the things that I shared, let me know that. If you have questions, put those down below. And like I said, the questions don't have to be related to pregnancy. They can be related just to running, whatever things you want to talk about, let me know. And without further ado, I will show you my belly. All right, guys, that was it for my 14-week pregnancy and running update. I turned 15 weeks sometime this weekend. So I will be back hopefully next Friday. I will be able to post another my 15-week video update. And until then, it's gorgeous out. Go lace your shoes up and catch a run. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.